So we are calibrated with the new sensors, and Andy's now going to stand. Well, let's see. We are going to take a scan. As soon as he's ready, he's going to step on the scale and make it do something. Let's step off it real quick. I guess tap it or however you start the scale. A little harder. Come on, scale. All right, well, let me try one. There you go. All right.
There we go. All right.
So now wait till it says 0. Step up on that. All right, and now you're gonna do like the strongman pose, like the above your head, like yeah. So that's the pose you're gonna use, and that's an ISO view of Andy right now. And in about 10 more seconds, the picture's gonna be snapped of Andy from both sides using the 3D sensors, and then it's gonna start the calculation. So this is the process. Stay there for a couple more seconds, and you're good. You can get off. So what it is going to do is run the math and then open a browser window, same as that one. Okay. Except this is all run local. This is not connected to the internet. Mm-hmm. Do you want this?
Yep.
So the sensors are actually much more precise, so we'll see a higher resolution model. Again, this is like the mobile setup, so the hard setup, the integrity will be a little bit better. What usually happens is the edges get a little jagged sometimes if we didn't spend enough time on the calibration, which we could have, but then Andy would have been standing here for a couple extra more minutes while I calibrated, so it's balance.
So that's the point cloud data, and
Yeah,
it's gonna.
That's only the front, actually.
That's the
so
front.
That's only this one.
Okay. Yeah, because that's the main. Is the first. That's the one that's hardwired to that.
Yes.
To the main unit.
Yes. You could have the back on it too. I think what we intend to have for this interface is to change camera angle a little bit and have just more fun things like a scanning line kind of brushing over the body, just kind of things to make it look cooler while you're scanning, because it has no real technical application while you're being scanned other than to keep someone occupied. So that was you, and that's the higher resolution.
Okay.
So you can see the color there. It should have been calibrated longer.
Mm-hmm. LA Fitness.
Oh yeah. So last we had was LA Fitness. So it looks like. Let's see. It actually looks like the calibration's a little now. Not sure. We can go through another calibration cycle if you want, just to verify that that's correct. But what we intend to produce is these metrics.
Mm-hmm.
And it does like the circumference values, it does the waist to hip, the BMI, which would obviously be more accurate if you had your shirt off and
Right.
and whatnot. It'll do like.
But those are the automatic metrics. Okay.
Like it'll do your arms, chest.
So how does it know which proximity? It just kind of calculates based on
Landmarks. It calculates based on landmarks. So, for instance, it knows where your bicep is because of this your armpit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it found that, and it recognized that this was your arm, and then it placed the joint at your elbow, and then it calculated halfway between your shoulder and your elbow, and it said, all right, this is the point that I want to cut at.
Gotcha.
And it uses the same angle that your arm's on.
Right, and
so.
it automatically does that trace around, and then it measures
your measurement up at the top.
Okay.
And this is something that multiple clients have requested.
Yep. That's cool. I like that it looks like a yellow band, like a measuring tape as well.
And if you were to have done a comparison scan, like if you had two scans on top of each other, then there would be a blue band that would show you where the next one, the second scan would be. So you can compare the bands by looking at whatever.
Right. So let's just say I took off my shirt for the next scan, like I just lost 30 pounds or whatever, and then it would do the comparison.
Yep. So
basically, how much does the clothes took up?
Yep. So So there are features that it has. We're just still debating on how many features it needs. I think this is important because you can see on any level. You don't get the measurement at any level, but you can see on any level how you compare from one time to the next.
Right. I think that's valuable.
Yeah.
I actually like that feature. The
See,
cross section.
You get like more like sometimes you get too complicated though. So for instance, like what is even happening right now? Like what are these? So I still think that we're going to keep the feature since it has value, but
I'd just leave it on there. It's nice to have those types of options.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Now I don't think this came out as nice as I would have liked. So I would recommend
redoing it.
If I was installing this at a location,
sure.
I would run the calibration again, and it should clear up this color issue, as well as it looks like your hair is a little deformed there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I would check at the installation.
Yeah. Now the height of the cameras, is that optimal height? Or does it depend on?
Approximately, yeah. I mean, cameras are intended to work for all heights. So if you have a 7-foot tall person or a 5-foot tall person, so the average height is about 6 foot. So the cameras should be about mid-level for the average height. So approximately 3 feet.
Approximately 3 feet.
Which
Okay.
they are, and
Fair
that's
enough.
Where we installed them. So.
Gotcha.
Do you have any other questions currently?
Not right now. I mean, as far as the scan quality, I mean, the scan looks pretty good. Can you zoom in? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you have like the wrinkles in your shirt going on. It's certainly much more impressively accurate now. Again, the side thing. This was the calibration issue I talked to you about just now.
Yeah.
So that would go away with a better cal, and if we want to take the time to do that, we can.
Now, and that's a single snapshot that it's able to simulate this data.
A single snapshot.
One snapshot.
Yep.
And it's not just the camera, but you're talking about the depth sensors and all the other sensors that are being used.
Mm-hmm. I think there's audio sensors, but they're not used currently. There is a color camera which takes this image, and there's also.
It's a pretty. What's the resolution of the camera? That looks.
It's HD.
It's HD. Okay, and that looks pretty good.
So. The difficulty comes where you're trying to map a 2D plot onto a 3D object, and that's where you get some of this calibration issue stuff. Where if it was perfect, you wouldn't have it.
Right.
There's the color.
Now, is it possible to use? Let's just say I sent you an OBJ file of a 360 scan, though. Would you still be able to get the data calculations?
Like the circumference measurements?
Yeah. If I sent you the OBJ, as opposed to you capturing it with your sensors.
Yes, we could do that. It would be essentially. Let's see. We'd have to talk about the pose.
Yeah, the pose.
As long as there's a standard pose, we could definitely calculate whatever measurements you want.
Okay, gotcha. So as long as it's the standard pose in the OBJ file, which is what you guys take.
That's what MATLAB outputs. The inputs to MATLAB would be a mesh or a point cloud, or you could even input an OBJ. That would be fine.
As long as okay.
We can make that work. I mean, really, we're flexible. So.
But then it does the calculations and all that. Okay. Not bad. I mean, it's basically it's literally a 360. It does fill in some of the holes.
Yep. So.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Cool. Can we do? Let's see. I really want to do a comparison.
Okay, I think we can do that.
Let's do a comparison.
We can do that. So we're gonna do comparison. You're welcome to change anything else.
Yeah.
I have
Now, does the scale have to be working?
No, we can do it without the scale.
Okay.
I see that we're having. There you go. I just had the magic touch, I guess.
You did.
All right, so yeah. All right, so now it should be about 15 seconds, 10 seconds, something, until the scan is taken. There will be a countdown button on here. We just don't have it for the demo. I'll tell you when you're done. Yeah, I wasn't all that happy with the quality that last one turned out, but should be coming up soon. There you go. You're done. So obviously you didn't stand exactly the same, and we're going to see how well our algorithms match you up to last time.
Okay.
So that's 5 years worth of work, right?
Hey man, not bad, not in vain.
Obviously we're making adjustments and changes every day. So
Mm-hmm.
if you guys have recommendations, even if you are not interested at all in anything that we do and don't want anything to do with us, I still would appreciate feedback from you. So
Okay.
and if there's anything that you would need in order to make the venture profitable, please let us know. We're also very flexible in what we.
Mm-hmm. So what are the specs on this computer?
This computer is an i7 core, I believe, and it's this computer specifically was recommended from the forums for the Connect SDK.
Okay.
And that's the only reason that we have it. It doesn't necessarily need to be of this quality
Mm-hmm.
that we install, but that's what the specs on this computer are. I could probably come up with a minimum spec list,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't have that right now for the new setup.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, this kind of, you can see that it ran through. It was placing the edge pixels,
Mm-hmm.
the wrapping, I call it, the completion, the whole filler. That's what you said.
Yeah.
Then it meshes the full thing. Then it here it's talking about the joints. So it took this long to place the virtual joints and then manipulate your body. I believe is what it's doing.
Oh, okay.
So the comparison scan takes a little bit longer, and this process is not optimized yet.
Uh-huh.
But by a week or two, we should have this time down
Mm-hmm.
to under 30
And that's what you and your
seconds.
partner are working on, just tweaking and.
Yeah, I mean that's more of his end of the. He does the MATLAB and the behind
Cool.
the scenes calc. So
Yep.
he just got this ready for us like last night.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So that's why it's not as pristine as I would have hoped, but it's a demo for all intents and purposes what we can do.
Mm-hmm. Right. Cool.
And it's just
This is on the edge shit. We're on the edge right here. So the new Xbox One connects, or the Xbox connects for Windows sensors.
That's correct. Yeah, we had signed an agreement with Microsoft that we could test and build with these things. So
Sweet.